Good afternoon, guys. It's Working, bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at Bitcoin to the U.S. dollar. This 4-hour chart on Bitfinex, and guys, if you were if you've been watching my last few videos, this move didn't surprise you at all. I've warned you that of this rising wedge pattern, and that when it does break down, if it does break down, it's going to be a very, very strong breakdown, and that's exactly what we saw. Warned you that for the last 2 days. Yesterday, I told you it looked like we may be finding top here with a strong resistance here between 7,400 7,500, guys. It was wicking in there quite a few times, couldn't seem to break past, and then ended up just falling right down. I showed you guys how this could possibly be the top of a 1-2, only a 3-wave structure, even though that was our 5th wave. Told you the possibility about a leading diagonal, and that's exactly what ended up happening, guys. So price did fall down. It found support right here in this little order block down here. It's somewhere around 69.50, somewhere thereabouts, guys, and now it's sitting around 7,000, just kind of moving sideways. Question is, are we going to go lower? I think there's a good chance that we could go lower, guys. This isn't a very strong support, so I do think there's a very good chance we could go lower, but the bottom line is we need to see price create some structure before we're going to really know which direction price is going to go or how it's going to react. But I'm watching this zone down here very closely at 67.50. I do think that's going to be a strong support. At least it should be a strong support. If that does break down, that's going to be an extremely bullish, or excuse me, bearish if that breaks down. That 67.50, remember, is the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders. It's been very strong resistance many times. Strong resistance here. Finally broke up. We know anytime something is a very strong resistance, once it does break up, it usually acts as a strong support. So I'm expecting that to act as a strong support, guys. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying that's what I would expect. If you wanted to play a quick scalp trade, I'd possibly have some buy orders stacked here, very small, expecting a quick bounce off there. But again, knowing it may come right back down. But playing a quick scalp trade out there for $100, $200 wouldn't be a bad idea if you need to pick a trade. But as of right now, where we're sitting, I'm completely out of the market. I would not, well, other than my long positions that I've held for forever and I'm not going to touch. But all my money that I use to trade, guys, I'm totally out of the market right now, waiting to see what this is going to do, and then I'll react accordingly. Looking to the upside, guys, I'd be very surprised if price just ended up taking right back off and coming into this zone again. That would really surprise me, guys. I do think that we're either going to consolidate, move sideways, or continue to the downside. I mean, it doesn't mean we might end up having a quick bounce here, but I would say more than likely I'd be surprised if price got any higher than 72.50 today. That would surprise me. Doesn't mean it can't happen, just means that would really surprise me. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see price come back down, check this 6750 zone, and let me give you kind of an idea of what's going on bigger picture, guys. I've showed you this before, but looking at our bigger picture, guys, we are if we aren't near the bottom, if we aren't at the bottom, we're near the bottom. Price just continues to show this series of lower highs. Every single time we get this bounce, we're getting a lower high. This time it came up to about 11.6. Here we came up to about 10,000. Here we came up to 8.5. And now if we're topping out here, which it does look like we have, we're at about 7,500, 7,500. So 7420, we'll call it, at least on Bitfinex. So guys, we're getting this is becoming a clear pattern. It's just getting lower each time, and we can see it with the impulsive nature of each bounce, guys. We can see this bounce here, very impulsive, straight up. I've showed you guys this before. This bounce still impulsive, but not quite as much, a little more sideways. This bounce even a little more sideways, and this bounce, just even a little more sideways. And now this bounce has just been, very, you can see the pattern here. You can see the weakening in the market. And you can see less and less buyers in the market. But this 58, 5900 support has held the entire time. Now, is it going to hold this time? It's possible. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out, guys. But it's very interesting that the market is weakening. Sentiment is starting to turn more bearish again, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with if and when price breaks down. Is this going to be a complete reversal, or are we continuing the downtrend? In other words, is this just a wave 1? We're counting down for the 2, and we'll be up for the 3, or are we continuing the downward pattern? As far as counts are concerned, guys, I've showed you guys these counts here before many times, but I was counting this as our X wave, so I've been counting this. Clearly this was an ABC. And the most bullish count would have, of course, this would be an X wave. The most bullish count would have this as, whoops, sorry, wrong one. Most bullish count would have that being our X, and this being as an A, B, C, D, and E. And now we're coming up for the 1, 2. So we zoom in here, guys. We're looking at all of this as a 1 and then a 2. So we'd be looking at 1, 2, and we'd be up for the 3. That'd be the most bullish scenario. And we'd be looking at what? This would be counted as a WXY pattern, as I've showed you guys many, many, many times before. So this would be the W. Oh, sorry, guys, that wasn't the case. Let me get a drink of water real quick, guys. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and put it out here, guys. So this could be a WXY pattern, WX, X denoted by this failed wave, and then we'd be down here for the Y, ABC pattern, and we'd be coming up for our 5 waves up, if that's a correct count. And we'll have to wait and see if it is, guys. If price does end up falling below this prior low, that's going to invalidate this count completely. And then at that point, what are we going to be looking at? At that point, more than likely, we're going to be in a WXYXZ. So what do I mean by that? We're going to be, again, this will be counted as X, more than likely. Then this would be, or if that in fact plays out, it will be, we'll be looking at an ABC, another X wave here, another failed wave here. Hasn't failed yet, but again, if this does drop below this prior low of this count, which would be 6770 on Bitfinex, if it does drop below 6770, that'll mean this would be a failed wave, and we'd be looking at what? We'd be looking at another A, B, and C correction. And the question is, how low can that C go? So if that does end up playing out, and again, I'm not saying that that is the case, guys, but if that does end up playing out, we're looking at a WXYXZ. So we'd be looking at WXYX, and our Z would be down here to complete, and then we'd impulse up, and I do believe that would be bottom. The question is, how far down could that C wave go if that is in fact the count? And if it is, of course we have the strong support between about 57, call it 5,800, and all that goes all the way down to about 5,500, call it 5,450. That's a very strong demand zone down here, a very strong support, guys. And even though we can go much lower than we have, I don't see it going any lower than 5,450. I do think it would bottom out there. However, if I'm wrong, and if that does break down, there is a very strong support zone between 4,600 and 4,400, and if it ever does get down there, that's a must buy in my opinion. That is the absolute bottom in my opinion. I don't think that it's going to go down to 3,000. I know some analysts are calling for that. I think the absolute bottom would be this 46 to 4,400 zone down here, and I'll be buying that all day long if we ever do get there. But in the meantime, guys, we're going to be watching this price, watching to see how price reacts off this 67.50. If we get a strong bounce at 67.50, that's going to be a very bullish sign. Keeping in mind, guys, that we could be continuing this downtrend. And as I showed you guys yesterday, a lot of people are pulling their fib. If we come here and look at this, this is a big picture, guys. A lot of people are pulling their fib, their swing high from this 8,500. I think algos are pulling their fib off of this, and I think they're using the swing high right here instead. We had a bunch of sideways movement and then the breakdown. So from that prior high, the breakdown would be right here. And if I pull swing high, swing low from right there, what do we have? We have a perfect hit off the 618 fib level right here. And I showed you guys this yesterday. And I told you that would be a very logical place to expect a very strong bounce. That's exactly what we had. We had a bounce right off that 618 fib, and a very impulsive one at that. And now we're trending down. Now that's a very bearish move, guys. Tells you that we are in fact in an overall bear market, and that would validate, or that would provide evidence for this being an A, B, and down for the larger C wave. And if that is the case, guys, we are coming down here to at least this zone down here between the prior low. And if we do break this low here, guys, again, that would validate the ABC. And at that point, we're possibly coming down as low as 54.50, somewhere thereabouts. It's a possibility. And again, I'm not saying we're there yet, guys. To the upside, we do have what looks like a leading diagonal, possibly leading diagonal into a change in our trend. So this could again be the wave 1, down for the 2 and up for the 3, and only time is going to tell. And I know that's frustrating, guys. I know everyone wants to know what the heck is going on, and I hate to be that analyst that says, we're just not sure. This thing could do quite a number of things, and we need to wait to see how the structure that forms from this very impulsive move down before I can start to give you any real idea of where price is going to go. But I can tell you that there is a very real possibility that we are coming down much lower, that the prior low here of 5,700 is still in play, absolutely, and even lower than that is still in play. However, the fact that this could be a leading diagonal leads me to believe that this also could just be a wave 1, 2 and up for the 3, and it's going to be very interesting to see how price reacts off this 57.50 and as low as this 65.40. If price goes below 65.40, then I'm going to start to get rather concerned. If 65.40 does hold, then I'm going to believe that we are in a 1, 2, and still be watching for that 3 once price does end up bottoming out. In the meantime, this correction has to play out, and I can see this correction doing something like this. And again, I'm just totally speculating here, guys. It could be much higher, could be much lower, but I'm just speculating, and I won't know until I get structure on this this market and see how price moves in the meantime. Price moves in the next 24 to 48 hours. In the meantime, I wouldn't at all be surprised to see price drop down here to 67.50. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. And as always, guys, I would appreciate an upvote or a like or a re-steam depending on where you're viewing this. Until next time, guys, please take care of yourselves. Trade safe. This is Working. Signing